is celebrating Halloween and all these other feast days. This is because in these feast days that we celebrate today under this captivity, the things that we have learned from white supremacy, these things do not glorify the Most High. Birthdays, Mother's Day, these holidays, we glorify ourselves. And we know that all glory is supposed to be to the Most High, even as Christians say. If all glory is supposed to be to the Most High, then in all things, the so-called black man is supposed to glorify the Most High. So when Israel gather together as a nation of people and we have a high holiday, all the blacks, all the native Indians, all the Hispanics outside, with all the children celebrating the Passover, is glorifying God for delivering us from the heathen. Yeah, I no sweat, Tawara. Alright? When we celebrate the Feast of First Fruits, when we celebrate Hanukkah, right? All these feast days is the black man, Hispanic man, and native Indian man giving the Most High thanks for his mercy towards his chosen people. Alright? Read on.
And write it in their hearts.
Right, and write it in their hearts, in their minds. Read on.
And will be their God. And they shall be my people.
Right, and the Most High is saying, this covenant, when we keep this covenant, he is going to be our God. And we are going to be his people. This scripture is showing you a father and son relationship. We're going to be serving him, obeying him. And by that, by we doing that, what's going to happen? We're going to be having our defense. We're going to be having our protection. Just as a father with any child. He giving instructions where you ought to go, where you ought not to go, what you ought to do, what you ought not to do. That is a protection to protect you, to save you, right, from disaster, to save you from evil. You understand? That is why the Most High say, I, God, create both good and evil. Everything is in the Most High's power. And when he say create good and evil, that evil is talking about punishments. All these things you see happening to the so-called black man today, the Most High is saying he created both good, the things that will bless us, and evil, the things that is going to happen to you when you break the laws of the Most High power. When you sleep with another man's wife, there's punishments for that. When you murder your brother, there's punishments for that. When you come against the Most High's people and have in the ghettos and in the slums and Silots and in Labrie and in John, there is a punishment for that. That is why you're reading the scriptures. Those that lead in captivity must be led into captivity. Those that kill with the sword must be killed by the sword. These are things that a Christian pastor will not tell you, but these things are according to the scriptures. So for leading God's people into captivity, for having us on this side of the world, in Trinidad, Tobago, Bahamas, South America, Venezuela, Uruguay, Brazil, America, and so forth, there's a punishment in the scripture for doing that to God's people. That is what we must come to understand, so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man. And as we go further in the class today, we're going to show who the so-called black man is today and also where we're located in the scriptures, because our forefathers have prophesied what is going to take place with the so-called black man in the last days. All right? Read on.
Verse 34.
Read verse 34.
Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 34.
Right.
And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor.
Right.
And every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me.
Right.
From the least of them unto the greatest of them.
Right. So from the least of them to the greatest, we're all going to know the Most High power. Right. Right now, the I.S.U.P.K is reestablishing, reinforcing the laws of the Most High upon the planet. All right? And all the so-called blacks, native Indian, and Hispanics, we're going to know who is the Most High power. The Most High is going to establish who he is. All right? On the day of what we call the day of judgment in the valley of Jehoshaphat, World War III. Just the same way how he established who he is during the time that he brought us out from Egypt. By drowning all the Egyptians, he's going to reestablish his name on the earth. Read on.
Saying the Lord, for I will forgive their iniquities and I will remember their sin no more.
Right, so the so-called black man, although we sinned against the Most High is saying he's going to forgive our sins and he's going to remember our iniquities no more. Because I mentioned before, we continually keep sinning against the Most High. But the Most High had something set up for the so-called black man. Set up for us so that he could do what? Pay our debts. When we was in as a nation of people before, when we sinned, what we did? Sacrifices were burnt on the altar by the priests. Alright? By the Levites, which is the Haitians today. This was to atone for the sins of the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man. Alright? But we went so off course with the Most High, he cut us off. Just like our father and child. They want to play man, go there and play man. He cut us off. But then he had a plan to redeem us. The leader of Israel, which is Yahweh, which is Christ, he had to die. That blood had to be shed to pay for the heap of sins that the so-called black man had laid up. To give us that chance now, we okay. The Most High now erase all the wrong that they do. Right? You was owing $1 million. The Most High say, all right, I go pay off that debt and give you a fresh start. That don't mean a kid go back and eat pork, crab, lobster, and shrimp again. You understand what I'm saying? And sleep with your neighbor wife, murder your brother. You catching me? Christ didn't die for you to do that. He died to give you a chance to start fresh. Because he now paid that price what you supposed to pay, which is debt. For the wages of sin is debt. All right, read on. Read 35.
Verse 35. Thus say the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day.
Right, so scriptures is saying, thus say the Lord. Right? For the Most High power that giveth the sun by day, read on.
And the ordinances.
Of the moon, yeah, right, read on.
Of the stars for a light by night.
Right, and he giveth the stars for light by night. Read on.
Which divideth the sea. When the waves thereof roar.
Right, so the Most High, he created all these things. The sun, the moon, the waves of the sea, and so forth. Read on.
The Lord of hosts is his name.
Right.
Verse 36.
Read on.
Verse 36. If those audiences depart from before me, saying the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation.
Right, read that one more time.
Then the seed of Israel also shall...
read Salakia. Read from the top. Read over the whole verse. Right. Salakia.
Verse 36. If those audiences depart from before me...
Right. So if the sun and the moon and the stars and the waves of the sea no longer exist, if these things depart from the Most High, read on.
Saying the Lord.
Right.
Then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation.
Right. If the sun and the moon and the stars no longer exist, he said that is the only time that Israel will no longer be a nation. All right, read on. That was it?
Before me forever.
Before me forever. So now what the scriptures is saying, the nation of Israel that they read about in the scriptures, that nation of Israel is existing today. The Most High is saying, as long as the moon and the stars and the waves of the sea and so forth exist today, the ordinances that he created, Israel will always be a nation of people. So the same way you have the Chinese, the Japanese, the East Indians, the Syrians, is the same way that the Israelites existing today. They will, as a Christian pastor, you're in church, what about these people you're talking about in the Bible? We always read about in the Bible, pastor. What about these people? Well, them people ain't existing no more. No. That is not according to the scriptures. The Most High said these people will not cease to be a nation of people. And that is the so-called black man, Native Indian man, and Hispanic man today. All right? That was all on it, right? All right. So now, if we look, and we'll touch on this a little bit. Somebody go hold for me in the meantime. Second is just 6 and 54. All right, Tawara. Let's hold that scripture for me in the meantime. Right? So if you look now, you have the Mexicans. You understand? And if you look through even in the Mexican history, and a good thing for we to tag in this is, I don't know if it's Private Catazar, Captain Catazar's 12 tribe breakdown. Right? So I have a captain, one of the captains, Captain Kataza. He has a 12 tribe breakdown. That is an excellent breakdown to look at, to make you understand who the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. A full breakdown, right? I don't know if it's private, but if it's not private, we will try to put the link up on the chat so that the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man are going to be getting all the history, archaeology, and biblical records to show who he is today, which is the chosen of the Most High. All right. So among the Mexicans, right, you have a lot of history. You have the keystone. You understand? Among the Mexicans, they had dawadas. That is this symbol that we will be wearing here. We will go through that history sometime. This here is actually Hebrew. This here is actually the name of David. All right, the signet of David. So like when a king had to send a letter to another location, what he actually does, he has a signet, and you pour wax on a document, and you take your signet and stamp the document to show that is the seal of the king. So when you watch all through history on movies, you're going to be seeing that signet of whatever king it may be. And this is the signet of David, because Christ is sitting on the seat of David. That is why you see we use this symbol. This is not a star. A star is a ball of gas. You can go on Google and find that out, right? And you can go in the scriptures, and the scriptures are going to explain you that a star is a ball of gas, right? Not this, what we call a star today, that you see the police use on the uniform as a form of authority, and all that little history we'll go into some other time. All right. When you look at the so-called black man, right, you're going to be hearing about the transatlantic slave trade, even if you Google it. It's in history, and it's also in biblical record, that the transatlantic slave trade, where we ran from Jerusalem, right, into West Africa. And the West Africans, which is the native Africans, they gathered the so-called black man, or the Israelites, that race of people, and they sold us to the so-called white man. And the Arabs, they built the ships that brought us across here. All right? And somebody give me the book of Luke chapter 20 and verse 21, I believe. All right? Where Christ told us to flee to the mountains. The book of Luke chapter 20 and verse 21. So when you're reading through the scriptures, you're going to see where YAHWH, which is Christ, told the so-called black man, when you see Rome surround Jerusalem with armies, flee to the mountains. So the same way you see it at riots today, people revolting and all is taking place, right? When we are under Roman rule, it's something similar that take place. You have soldiers, centurions, and so forth, which is police, right? They besieged with the army, the nation of Israel, and starved us out. And Christ prophesied to us, when we see that happen in Jerusalem, we need to run. We need to run to the mountains, right? And that can be found in the scriptures. One only had the scripture? Give me Luke chapter 20 and verse 21. So what? Then whoever gets it, let me know. All right, that's now I go read it from here, right? The book of Luke chapter 21. The book of Luke chapter 21 and verse 20. Right? So this is Christ speaking here. So YAHWH is saying, right, to the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man. Now, during this time, when Christ was in Jerusalem, what was taking place is that we went through this in, I believe it's the last class or the class before, that the kingdom of Israel had split under the rulership of King Solomon. When King Solomon died, the kingdom split, right, into two. That is how we have the two nations in the book of Ezekiel chapter 37. But the prophecy that was that we no longer going to be called two nations, but we're going to be called one nation. All right, so we had the southern kingdom and we had the northern kingdom. So what took place when King Solomon sinned against the Most High by marrying women of other races? All right, because we're supposed to be a separate people. The kingdom was taken away or divided because of the sin of King Solomon. All right, now during this time, right, Salakia, during the time when Christ was walking, and Christ made this prophecy that I'm about to read, they were primarily the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, or half a Levi, dwelling within the region of Jerusalem, right? The other kingdom, which is the northern kingdom, which are Israelites, they already fled, right, from the kingdom split, and they came across on the western side of the world, what we just call the West Indies today and so forth. That is the American native Indians. You also have the Caribs and you also have the Arawaks. They are Israelites, or the same race of us so-called black people. They came across to this side of the world, and we might touch on that scripture as the class going along. All right? But when Christ was on the scene, primarily, the bulk of us in Jerusalem were the southern kingdom, right? The American blacks today from the tribe of Judah, the Benjamites, which is from the Caribbean blacks, and the Levites, which is from Haiti. All right? I think we have it up on the 12 tribes sign here, right? I will try and adjust the camera so you can see it better on the other feed. All right? So now what Christ was saying to us, right? In book of Luke chapter 21 and verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, right? Surrounded with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then know that the destruction of Jerusalem is near. Verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea, right? Which in Jerusalem, let them flee to the mountains. So he told the so-called black man, when you see the oppressor, the so-called white man that oppressing us still to this day, surround Jerusalem with the armies, he tell you to do something, to escape the brutality of the white man. Flee to the mountains. Because when Christ came and he set all these works in place to redeem the so-called black man, it was not time yet to deliver the black man from the hands of the enemies, because the people were scattered in Philippi, Thessalonica, Rome, Greece. So Paul and disciples now had to go out and teach these black people, hey, he's an Israelite. Come back to serving your God. Come back to serving and following the laws, commandments, and statutes. So they had to re-establish who this group of people were, and also make them understand who their God were. And they had laws and our culture that they needed to follow. Now when that take place, then is the redemption of the so-called black man. And from then till now, that is the struggle to gather the so-called black man, to establish that brotherhood between the blacks, the native Indians, and the Hispanics. That we come and identify and understand that we are one race of people and come together. When you're looking for a wife or you're looking for a husband, according to the scriptures, marry among these people. Marry a black man, a native Indian, right? Or a Hispanic. Not a Chinese, not a Japanese, not a East Indian, not a white woman. Because these things is what keeping the so-called black man in the captivity and in the distress that he is in today. All right? So Christ said to us, flee to the mountains. And the mountains now, if somebody don't really understand it or don't know like a lot of history, when you look at the maps, the only place that the so-called black man was able to run was in West Africa. Now, during that time in West Africa, the Romans or the so-called white man, they didn't have total rule over Africa within that time. And there's no other place to run, because you can't run into Europe, deeper into Europe. You can't run from the white man army and run into Europe, right? Where the white man ruling around that time. But we was able to run into West Africa, right? To disguise among the Africans, because the Africans is also a dark-skinned race of people. So the so-called black man was able to run into West Africa to hide from Roman persecution. All these things are going to make you to understand that the Jesus that your grandmother have up or had up over your bed for all these years is not a white man. The description of Christ is in the book of Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14, right? A dark-skinned man, right? An Israelite from the tribe of Judah, all right? The root and the offspring of David. That is who Christ is. That is why he was lynched. Just as the lynching black men all over, and black women all over the world today. All right? So we had to run into West Africa, right? But the scriptures also make us understand, or the records of forefathers also make us to understand that the other races do not like the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man. That is why they always oppress us. All right? So when we fled into West Africa, just as when the East Indians came across to Trinidad, what they did, they didn't feel sorry for us and say, may I come in and work? Watch all you having these people here on that chain and whip. I not coming and work for no 2 pence and selling for my grandmother to work over these people. When you see these people and these people under these heinous conditions, but you know what he then do? The same thing or the same spirit as the so-called white man. They took the opportunity to rule over the so-called black man, native Indians that was here, and the Hispanics, which is the Venezuelans, and make a mint. Until this day, they ain't care. Just like the Africans, when you run into West Africa, the native Africans start running me down, tie we up, gather we, and they had the ports. They could go up on the internet and see the slave ports, where they gather up all the black people and start shipping us out to the western side of the world and to England and so forth. And the so-called oppressor and oppressors make a mint. All these big structures and economic might and big military that you see the other races have today is because of slavery. Working the slaves to death and also selling us as trade. The scriptures told us they sell a boy for wine. So it's selling black men and trading me for wine. Selling young black men and Hispanic, primarily black men, right? For harlots. That is the kind of things that black people suffer under the hands of the other races. And you never hear no heathen write one book or come out and talk nothing and they feel sorry for the so-called black man. And we still thinking people like, for example, I was in power like Obama. Obama is not the same race as the so-called black man. Obama was an African. That is why he did nothing for black people. They know their history. You do not know your history because you were stripped of your history. This was not taught in school. As you brought on the last class, you learn about Boyo, and Kala, Monansi, Papa Boa. That is what the so-called black man learn about. We learn folk tale. We don't understand no history. But the Chinese, the Japanese, the East Indians, they know their history. Right. They know their culture. They identify themselves as a race of people. That is why they're always together. No matter what religion they're in, they will always be together. Because one thing they never lose is their identity as a race of people. But we, so-called black men and Hispanics and Native Indians, is all kind of Latino gangs because we identify ourselves as one people. Right? In Trinidad, we are Rasta and Muslim. We are Tongue Man and South Man. That the wars we fighting. We wars we fighting based on location, based on language. But then Spanish and them. What them Venezuelans and them. Them is the same brothers. You catching me? But it was stripped of your history. It was whipped and lynched to become a Christian. So no one asks you, where is Isaac Christian? You don't even know your race. So when you read the Bible, you don't understand the inheritance. You don't understand that the kingdom of God was promised to you. And you capable so-called black man are setting up this kingdom on the earth. That's why the scripture says that the kingdom of heaven is within you. You could follow these laws and set up the kingdom of heaven here on earth, which is where it's going to be. This kingdom of heaven can be set up in John, and in Sealots, and in Labrie, and in Point, and in Arima, in all the ghettos where black people is. Right? But the real priests and prophets in the I.S.U.P.K, we know how to go out and teach you your culture. Teach you how the so-called black man have in his records the ability to set the kingdom of God on the earth. That is the glorious things that the Most High have given to the so-called black man. We could go in any hell and change that hell into heaven. Right? And where we eat, because what we have in our heads and in our minds, we have the knowledge of the heathen. We have the knowledge of the oppressor. We have the knowledge of the other races. I got caught this flick here. I got caught this deal. And you're still living in the ghetto. Your people still suffering. And the Christians on the other hand thinking them blessed. I have a house and I have a car. Because Christianity develops within the so-called black man that selfish mind or that selfish nature. I have a house and a car, well, I good. But this is about your nation. What about your people? You have a house and a car. What about them in Sealots and in Lavantil and in Diego Martin and in John? What about all the black men getting gunned down and the next squeeze? You don't care about them, but the Chinese care about their people though. The East Indians care about their people. Right. You ain't hearing East Indians and Chinese getting the next squeeze all over the world and gunned down and lynch. You ain't hearing that because they're together. So they had that power structure. They're able to support one another. They're not up and down begging. You understand what I'm saying? The scripture said, it's better for a man to die than to beg. They're not begging. They're going to the Mahasabha. They're going to the Chinese organization. You understand? The Africans had their society pumping a long time. You understand? So these things what the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, I don't understand, right? Somebody give me the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54. Give me, let me see. Yes, somebody can go ahead and read the scripture. The book of Ezra 6 and 54.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 54.
Right.
And after these, Adam also.
Right, so this scripture is showing you, I was talking from Adam, right? Read on. After these, Salakia, after these, Adam also, read on.
Whom thou madest Lord over all thy creatures.
So the Most High made Adam Lord over all the creatures of the earth. Right, read on.
Of him come we all.
And all people, we all came from Adam. Right? And I need to add this also. Right? The general was breaking down the book of Genesis, I believe it was about 2 days ago. Right? But I'm going to explain. We all came from Adam. Right? Because the Most High, because of the so-called black man intermarrying with other races in the book of Genesis chapter 10. Right? Having heathen women or other races as wives. He tripped and drowned the whole place. And when I say the whole place, the whole at the eastern side of the world where everybody was dwelling around that time. Right? Because of interracial marriage. These things you will not learn in the Christian church. But the same way you burn down Sodom and Gomorrah for breaking the laws, man sleeping at man, is the same way when we break the laws, where in the book of Deuteronomy, we're not supposed to give our children to marry other races or take other races as wives for us. The Most High tripped and drowned the whole place and left Noah, his 3 sons, and their wives. And then what he started doing is repopulating the earth and dividing the nations again. So you had Shem, you had Ham, you had Japheth. And we came out from the son of Shem. The Africans came out from the son of Ham. We came from the son of Shem. The Africans came from their forefather, from Ham, the father of all the dark races. And the Most High starts separating the races again. Where you had the Chinese, the Japanese, the East Indians, the Israelites, which is black people, the so-called white man, and so forth. All right, we'll go into that another time. Right, read from the top again, Tawara.
The book of 2nd Ezra.
Read aloud, that's Tawara.
Yeah. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 54.
Right.
After these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures.
Right.
Of him come we all.
Right, so we all came out from Adam, as I explained.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
And he make a separation here. And he say, and the people also who thou have chosen. Because we all know according to the scriptures, there is a people that the Most High Power have chosen. So he's making a separation. Everybody come from Adam. And the people also who the Most High Power have chosen. Alright? Why is he reading that? Somebody hold Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6 to water. You finish on that scripture? Right. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. Alright? Because he say, he have a people also that he have chosen. No, Salakia, read on again.
Verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Most High.
Right.
Because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Right. And the scripture is saying, because the Most High Power, he made the world. He made the world for our sakes. And our sakes is the people that he have chosen, the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man. He have created the world for our sakes. We were the ones to rule the earth. That is what the kingdom of God or the kingdom of heaven is about. The so-called black man ruling the planet earth by the laws, the rules, and regulations of his father, which is the Most High, under our king, which is Christ, which is in the Hebrew, YAHANNA. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6 to water.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
Right.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right. So the Most High saying that the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, that we are a holy people. Alright? The word holy in the Hebrew means quadash, which means separate. We are a separate people. Read on.
The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people.
Right.
Unto himself.
Right. Unto who?
unto himself.
Unto himself. We were separated specifically for the Most High. Read on.
Above all people.
Read that again.
Above all people.
Above all people. Not equal to. So all these marches you might be seeing about no justice, no peace, equality, these things is rubbish. These things are ungodly. Because he created the so-called black man not to be equal, but to be above all people. Because he chose that. He chose to make the so-called black man, native Indian man, Hispanic man, to set this group or this race of people to be the ruling group of people. Above all people that are on the face of the earth. Read on.
That are upon the face of the earth.
Right.
Verse 7.
Read it over here.
The Lord did not send his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in numbers than any people.
Right. Well, hold up on that for a minute. All right. So, somebody hold Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1 from Etawada. The book of Genesis chapter 49 and verse 1. Right. So if you're watching True History as you're doing today's Monday night history class, you're going to understand that every race on the planet was oppressed by the so-called white man, right? We went through that in a couple history classes back, and this I've been teaching since 1969 under Commanding General YAHANNA. The so-called white man, he oppressed the Chinese, the East Indians. He strategically, right, rape and pillage the whole earth. But the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, we were abused also by the so-called white man and by all other races. Right? That is what you read about in the book of Psalms chapter 83. Where the nations, they conspire together or plan together. They come confederate together. Not to make the so-called black man know that he, the native Indians and the Hispanics, that there is one race of people. The nations always have things strategically set up. Whether it's by changing boundaries, locations, borders, language, and so forth, not to make this group of people know there is one race of people. That is the plan. Are the other races. Don't make them know that.
Right.
Don't make the Venezuelans joining our course in Trinidad know that them and the Trinidad are the same race. Because if that happens, then we have a problem.
Right.
Now the blacks in Trinidad, although we living in a small island, we now realizing, wait now, I have a big base. Maduro and the whole of Venezuela, Uruguay, with some of the other countries, South America, Brazil, you understand, Colombia to Uruguay, we're going to realize, wait now, all of we is one people. All this wealth, you understand, all this oil and so forth, we want to control all that, but it can't make we know we is one people. To keep we separate. So the oppressors now, they can rule over us. You understand? Right? Give me the book of Genesis chapter 49 from verse 1. Now, this scripture we're going into, right, is as we mentioned before, that the so-called black man, native Indian man, and Hispanic man, as the Most High said, as long as the stars and the moon here, the nation of Israel will always be here. Right? The Israelites you read about in the Bible, they will always be here as long as the moon and the stars are in place. Alright? So our forefathers now, they told us what is going to befall the so-called black man in the last days. This is going to help the so-called black man identify who he is according to the scriptures. Right? Also according to archaeology and history. That is why we keep doing history classes all over the I.S.U.P.K. Alright? So somebody give me from verse 1.
Okay. Book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1.
Right.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together.
Right. So Jacob now, he is the forefather of the 12 tribes. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and so forth, right? That's the one. I think one of the screen picking it up, it might be a little too far. So you have the 12 tribes on the screen here. Right? Salakia. The 12 tribes on the screen. Here, right? These are the sons of Jacob, right? Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and so forth. So this is who we gather together. Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Simeon, Zebulun, and Ephraim. He gathered all his sons together. That is why these is what is our names or what we are identified by, the so-called black man. These were the names of our forefathers or the sons of Jacob. All right? Read it from the top again.
Book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
Right. So now, our forefathers, right, or the sons of Jacob, was told what is going to befall them in the last days. Right? And that is talking about the offspring. Because the scriptures also show you what is the last days. I believe that's supposed to be in Hebrews chapter 1. So one will look up for it in the meantime. Right? I will absolutely just now. The book of Hebrews chapter 1, I believe is 1 and 2. Supposed to be showing you, right, when was the last days. So we're going to understand when we talk about the last days, what we're talking about. All right? Read on. All right, Salakia. So now we're saying, I'm going to show you what is going to befall the so-called black man, native Indian man, what is going to happen to us in the last days. Right? These things are prophecies in the scriptures or in the records of our forefathers. So the so-called black man today could identify who he is. He could read the scriptures when the priests and prophets teaching on the streets. Now he can understand what is being prophesied, what is being said to him, because now he realizes and identifying, wait now, this Bible is the records of my forefathers. So when I hear about Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Christ, Samson, the list goes on, this talking about my people. All right? This talking about my family's struggle, my family's fall, my family's rise, the results of my family's disobedience, right? The results of my family's obedience. That is what you're going to understand. So the so-called black man now is going to be able to understand and know what it is he needs to do to come out from any situation that he might be in. When we need salvation, the scripture shows what we need to do. Separate. Stand again in righteousness. Please your power. All right? Somebody, Salakia, continue reading. You find the scripture? All right? Read it to Salakia. Read it from the first. Salakia. Hebrews.
The book of Hebrews.
Right.
Chapter 1 and verse 2.
Right.
Hath in the last days spoken to us.
Right. And read from verse 1.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 1 and verse 1. The Most High, who at sundry times in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets.
Right. So the Most High spoke unto our fathers by the prophets. The same thing I'll be doing in the I.S.U.P.K today. Read on.
Hath in these last days spoken.
Read it again. Had in what?
Hath in these last days spoken.
Had in these last days. So the last days is from since Christ was on the scene. That is what is recorded in the scriptures as the last days. So now the father of Jacob is showing his offspring what is going to happen to them in the last days. Right? Which is from the New Testament era here all the way down. We living now in the last days. All right? It might seem strange to a lot of people, but in the scripture show you that 1,000 years is as a day, and a day is as 1,000 years. Right? So you might find the period of time long, but the Most High make it to understand how he, right, establishes days according to the scriptures. Right? So continue reading on from verse 49, verse 1, Salakia. Yes, start over.
Okay. Book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1.
Right.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together,
right,
that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob.
Ye who?
Ye sons of Jacob.
Right, so he's speaking to the sons of Jacob. Read on.
And hearken unto Israel your father.
Right, and hearken unto
Israel your father.
And hearken unto Israel your father. Right, read on.
Okay. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power.
Right.
Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed.
Right. So before we reach to that part, right, saying Reuben, thou art my firstborn. Right. So he's talking to the tribe of Salakia, talking to Reuben. When you're looking on the chart here, you're seeing Reuben speaking about the Seminole Indians, which is Israelite, but from that tribe, the tribe of Reuben, talking to the Seminole Indians, right? And he's saying, right, that Reuben, thou art my firstborn. So Reuben was the firstborn of his father, right? And Reuben, as we will keep explaining as scriptures going along, was supposed to be or have the inheritance of the firstborn, right? The same inheritance that Judah has today, which is the head of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. All right, but the scripture is going to show you what happened to Reuben, right? And now Reuben is no longer in that place or having the inheritance of the firstborn, right? So read for Reuben again.
Okay. Verse 3. Reuben, thou art my firstborn,
Right.
my might, and the beginning of my strength,
Right.
the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power.
Right. So he's saying Reuben is the excellency of dignity and the excellency of power, right? Because that tribe, Reuben, always had that spirit, right, to remain separate, right? To remain holy, as we say in the scriptures, right? Quadash in the Hebrew. You understand? So although the Seminole Indians passed through the same oppression as all the other 12 tribes, he was able to keep himself separate. You understand? From the full influence, I should say, of the so-called white man. Right? Read on.
Okay. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel.
Right. What should happen?
Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel.
Right. He's saying unstable as water, thou shalt not excel. Right. And here is where Reuben now lost his right as the firstborn. All right. And the scripture is going to show you why this happened to Reuben. Read on.
Okay. Because thou wentest up to thy father's bed.
Right. So Reuben now made a grave error. He went unto his father's bed. You understand what I'm saying? Sleeping now with what belonged to his father. You understand? Was a disgrace and a curse by the Most High. Something real ungodly that Reuben did. And he now lost that inheritance or that ability to be the ruling brother among the tribes. Right? And then Judah was now selected as the ruling tribe by the father. You understand? Because of the sin that Reuben had committed. All right? Read on.
Okay. Then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch.
What he did?
He went up to my couch.
Right, so he went up to his father's couch. Read on verse 5.
Okay. Verse 5.
I feel probably in another class, we can think the time might run out. We will continue and bring the precepts and the stories to suit or to match the scriptures that we're bringing out here now. All right, because these scriptures are going to identify the tribes, and there are also scriptures in the book of Deuteronomy that is going to match up to totally identify the 12 tribes of Israel, where all the so-called blacks, native Indians, and Hispanics, where we are today, who we are today. Right, so we need to identify this one group, this one nation, or this one race of people. All right, read verse 5.
Okay, verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren.
Right, we're talking about now, we're talking about Simeon and Levi. So the scriptures now is saying that Simeon and Levi, they are brethren. All right, they are brothers. All right, now Simeon, when you look on the chart here, you see this is the Dominicans, right? And look at Levi, you're going to see that Levi is the Haitians. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Right, read.
Okay. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation.
Right. So the scripture is saying Simeon and Levi, they are brethren. So if you look today on any map, right, you're going to see that Simeon and Levi is living on the same landmass, right, which is the landmass of Haiti. And what it is separating Simeon and Levi is a border. So these two groups of people living on one landmass, and a border is separating now Simeon and Levi, and they do not even know that they are brethren, right? Because of slavery, because of oppression, we are stripped of the culture, and we do not know who we are today. So it's showing you now how detrimental or how disastrous slavery and oppression under the so-called white man and the other races was. That way the so-called black man do not even know his own people. The so-called black man don't even know his own brothers. We don't even see Jamaicans and Trinidadians brothers. We just know he's black people. Just how we what them Africans and them as black people too. But now, Africans and Israelites, we not the same bloodline. But Trinidadians and Jamaicans, native, same bloodline. Alright, Salakia. Alright, we are the same bloodline, the same race, and the same nation and people. Alright? Read from Instruments of Cruelty.
Okay. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. Verse 6.
Right. So instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. Right. And when you're looking at the culture, right, as Simeon and Levi, because it's talking about the two tribes, it's talking about the brothers, Simeon and Levi in the nation, in the land of Haiti. When you look in the history, is what people might want to call like voodoo today. You catching me? Is all kind of like black magic and all kind of naked feasts, different little things they're doing. You understand? Instruments of cruelty. And also, when I look at the way Simeon and Levi treat each other, that is why the scripture is telling them that instruments of cruelty are in their habitation, where they dwell. Not only the things that they get themselves involved in because of slavery, but also when they look at that group of people, Simeon and Levi, these two brothers, they hate each other. Even what documentaries with the Haitians that are run across across the to try to see if they can scrape stuff to run back to Haiti, because they in Haiti under heavy oppression and starvation, and Simeon right on the opposite side of our border and have a border to separate them. All the stadium then. You understand? That is the curses that come upon the so-called black man because of disobeying the Most High. And don't even acknowledge and accept each other as the same race of people. It come nearly like Trinidad and Tobago. We know we call it a twin island republic, but the black man in Trinidad and the black man in Tobago, we not seeing ourselves as family. You understand? Or as real brothers, as Israelites, as the sons and the chosen of the Most High. You understand? So the scripture is saying that instruments of cruelty in our habitation, right? Read on. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And that also showing it to see these two tribes on the same landmass as they're saying there.
Right.
I mean, not knowing that they are brothers. It's showing it that in the book of Psalms 83 when we read that these nations conspire together to make the name of Israel be no more numbers. It's showing also to that the deceptiveness.
Right.
Sorry, the deceptiveness of the so-called white man. To be able to deceive these two tribes, to put them on the same landmass and not knowing that they're brothers.
So you need the kind of work and the kind of brutality. Yeah. You're correct. Yeah. You understand? Because which is Salakia, right? Which is as the officer Matkoyak bringing out, right? These two brothers, right? Same family, living so close and not even knowing that they're brothers is showing you the cruelty. It was under rulership by the French and the Spaniards, right? And was destroyed so much where they do not even know that there is family. One find out more light skin, and because of white supremacy, they find them more fancy. And the other set, which is the Haitians, they dark skin. So they're watching them now. All is nothing. And fighting each other tooth and nail, right? For years. Because oppression, they take away the records from the so-called black man. Boom, we don't understand who he is. We lost. You understand what I'm saying? As a nation of people. But in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, our job is to gather the 12 lost tribes together as one. Right? Under one king, Yahweh Shai. Following all the laws, commandments, and statutes that the Most High laid for us so that we can come out from under the hands of our enemies. All right? Which is the other races, the other nations.
Right.
All right? Read over that same part I was reading again.
Book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 5.
Right.
Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation.
Right.
O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto the assembly. Mine honor be not thou ununited.
Right. So read verse 6 one more time, Salakia.
O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto the assembly. Mine honor be not thou united.
Right.
For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall.
Right. So now it's showing here in the anger, right, of the two brothers, the scripture saying they dig down a wall. So the father prophesying these things in the anger. The anger in right here, right? The rage. And this happened because there's a story where Simeon and Levi, their brother was raped. Salakia, their sister was raped, right? And they now in turn, on taking revenge over their sister, right? They were living amongst the heathen, killed out, right, a whole portion of Africans, right? Just now, before I go into it, somebody give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 8. Before I go more into it. All right, so Simeon and Levi now end up, going against the will of the father and cutting a deal, I should say, among the African nations that if the circumstance, well, we go give we sister. You understand? And they brought great destruction against the Africans. Right? But in turn, that didn't please the father. Because by doing that, they now setting up the Africans to be at war with the Israelites. You understand what I'm saying? And not that the father was like afraid, but no, the father now in his wisdom and experience now probably would have dealt with the situation in a more strategic way. All right? But because of the hastiness, Simeon and Levi, they ain't care. They cut their own flick. Right? Somebody read 33 and 8. Tawara. Yeah, read Deuteronomy 33 and 8.
Deuteronomy 33 and 8. And of Levi, he said, let thy Tumim and thy Urim be with thy whole one.
Right. So I'm going to touch on Levi a little bit, right? Thy what? Urim and Turim. Read on.
Whom thou disprove at Massa, and with whom thou didst strive at the water of Meribah.
Right. So when you're looking at Levi, the tribe of Levi, they had the office at the priesthood. Talking about the Urim and Turim, right? That was the office of the priest, and they had all the attire, they had the headpiece, and the whole clothing way, because they were the ones to go before the nation of Israel to make sacrifice. So Israel was set up in different cities. Like when you're watching some of the old maps, you will see where the different tribes of Israel dwelt in Jerusalem. And the priests now will go around and make sacrifices for the sins, that atone for the sins. The different tribes. That was the job of the priests. They making sacrifices for the nation of Israel day and night. You understand what I'm saying? That was the office of the priests. So they had a headpiece, right? And I think the last time when Captain Mashak was breaking it down for us, to talking about, he was going into where when you look at like a cook, or you're looking at let me use for example like a cook or a baker, that had the kind of headpiece, you understand, and the apron, because that originated from the priests in Israel, right? That was their attire. So when you're watching the apron like a chef or like a butcher, because they know was the ones in position to be killing the animals and so forth, and presenting it to the Most High for the nation of Israel. That is why you will see that style of headwear also in the nation of Israel, because that was the attire of the priest, the high priest in Israel. Right. All right. That was the end of verse 9.
Oh, you want verse 9?
Yeah. Or what verse you at?
Verse 8. Finish
right. Finish 8 and go down to 9 if you finish 8. Tawara.
Verse 9.
All right, read on.
Who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children.
Right. All right. So now, when that scripture talking about he had never acknowledged what? Read it again.
Verse 9. Who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren.
Right. So where he have not seen him, or neither have he acknowledged his brethren, right? Talking also about Levi, because Levi now was was, as we was mentioning before, separate, right, from all the other Israel. They were separated from their brethren to only do the service at the Most High. That is what they're talking about, right? Read on.
None knew his own children.
Right? None knew his own children.
But they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant.
Right. So he didn't know your own children, but the scriptures really talk about like what we are, because we are also priests, right, under the highest order, which is under the order of Melchizedek. So we know as priests, we do the same. We work day and night. We're on the streets, we in classes, we so forth. You understand? And just as the scriptures say, you ain't getting chance to even see a churn. Because we know as priests doing what is necessary to raise the nation of Israel back up again. So you ain't around a churn every day and a wife every day having a lulling time, because your mission is about raising up your people. So that same spirit that was on the tribe of Levi now is on the entire 12 tribes. You understand what I'm saying? As the scriptures say, this work must be a first wife, right? And this is our first wife. As the priests doing offerings for the sacrifices for the sins of Israel, they made that office their first wife. And that is the same thing that we're doing today. All right, so go back to the original scripture, Tawara. Tell more fire reach.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 7.
Verse 7.
Yeah,
All right.
Genesis.
All right, read on.
Okay. Book of Genesis chapter 49 and verse 7. Cursed be their anger,
Right.
for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel.
So cursed be their anger because it was fierce. And probably do the next class I will read you the story, right? With the sister. So curse was Simeon and Levi's anger because it was fierce, right? What they actually did, right? Get the Africans and them to do circumcision, and when they circumcise, the two brothers plan for them. When they circumcise, no, well, right, all these men, we make the whole city circumcise together. So now they can't walk, they can't function because everybody in pain. And the two brothers, they arm themselves with the swords and they kill out everybody in the city. You understand? They kill out all them Africans. But when in doing that now, that is why the father is saying this in this prophecy. What they actually did now is put the nation, right, or the family at risk, because the other African nations around them now could like besiege them and attack them and make them in turn get killed out. So it wasn't really a wise move, but it was doing it now in defense of the people. You understand? The same, something similar to what Moses did when Moses saw an African, right, killing his brother. Moses ended up killing the African. You understand? And in the end had to run, right? But read on.
Okay. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
Right, read that again.
I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
Right, so you say you go divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. You understand? That is why when you're watching now, they divided. Simeon and Levi. They're living right there next to one another and they divided. You're catching me? In Israel and scattered. Even if they have them in other locations in America, some Levites, I believe, living like in Louisiana region and so forth. Them and Simeon still do get along. You understand what I'm saying? Because of these prophecies that identifying who the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel is. Alright, read on.
Okay, verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Right. Read Judah again. That's what it's like here. Let me see this one more minute. So what? Alright. Right?
Okay, verse 8.
Verse 8.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Right.
Thy hand.
Right. Read on.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemy.
Right. So Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren, right, shall praise. So Judah now, his brethren is going to praise him, and Judah on the chart here have them as Negroes. Right. These is the American blacks. Right, his brethren, which all these other 12 tribes, the West Indians, the Haitians, Dominicans, and so forth, the Venezuelans, and so forth, we shall praise, right, the Judites. Right, the Judites is like what we is like the trendsetters. When I say the trendsetters, for example, if you're looking at today with the whole Black Lives Matter, the whole movement, the whole revolution, you understand what I'm saying? All the other tribes now going to get the effect and feel the pain of Judah and start following Judah. So you're seeing the movement from America, it all within the Caribbean, Dominica, it's in Trinidad, right? It's in Mexico. You catching me? Because all the other brethren, all the other 12 tribes, just follow Judah, right? As the head, right? Read on.
Thy father's children.
No, read al high up, Salakia. Yeah.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Right.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
Right. And it's saying also Judah hand is going to be in the neck of the enemies. And we understand that the enemies is all the races, but the number one oppressor who the scriptures is called the serpent. The slipperiest and slimiest, most deceitful of all the races is the so-called white man. The scripture says his lips are smooth as oil.
Right.
So Judah's hand is in the neck of the enemy, right? Which is, Judah now is dwelling or living among the oppressor. So where the bulk of white people is, that is where that tribe will be. In America, among the oppressor. All right? Read on.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Right? Read that again.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Right? And thy father's children, which means all the other 11 tribes, right, is going to bow down, right, to that tribe. And when it's saying bow down, it means it's like going to acknowledge Judah as the head tribe, right? If you're watching naturally, right, we acknowledge the American blacks as the head tribe. When our movement pop in, everybody pop in to Judah. So we yield ourselves to Judah then. Judah in a struggle, everybody know, when I say everybody, all the other brothers, we in the struggle with Judah. So when you're watching all historically, all the movements, when the movements and them stem from Judah, all the other tribes now following or feeling the pain, you understand, of the Judites. You understand? Because the Judites had a ability also to be able to convey the pain and the distress that they're going through, and the other brothers now can feel that pain and join the struggle, right? And we job in the I.S.U.P.K is to bring the effect now way now that pain among the American blacks and the Hispanics and the Native Indians is to feel enough pain where we could separate from religion, separate from among the other races, separate from all these ideas and philosophies and things that we have learned that is not according to the Bible. When I say the Bible, according to the records that our forefathers laid and left for us. All right, read on.
Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey.
Right, what verse is 9?
Verse 9.
All right, read again.
Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey.
Right, so Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey. All right, read on.
My son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion.
Right, so the scripture say now Judah couched as a lion. You understand? And a lion is like a hunter. Always position himself in a dominating fashion. You understand? Read on.
And as an old lion.
And as a what?
And as an old lion.
Right, and as an old lion.
Who shall rouse him up?
Right. So he had a dominating spirit, but the scriptures is saying now, who shall rouse him up? You understand what I'm saying? So you see now the spirit of Judah, or like when you're watching after the end up killing Floyd George and the others, George Floyd Slovakia, and all the other sisters and brothers are murdered, and that is only one record. They get that countless. You understand? But now the scripture is still saying in the prophecy in the last days, who is going to rouse up Judah as the leader? And who is the one to rouse up Judah? Only in the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA.
Right.
Because when Judah is as that old lion right now, the only way Judah is going to rise up and become that real raging lion is when Judah understand that he needs to separate. And from the time Judah starts separating, all the brothers is going to start to separate. That lion going to lead, and the nation of Israel going to start separating.
Right.
You understand? And that can only take place by the priests and prophets in the I.S.U.P.K teaching the so-called blacks, Native Indians, and Hispanics who they is today.
Right.
All right? Read on.
Verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
Right? Read that again.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
Right? So the scripture is saying the scepter shall not depart from Judah. So the position that Judah hold as the leading or the head tribe, that position will not change from Judah. So when it keep coming down the line, and after King Saul lost the throne and King David was anointed king, keep coming down that line, Judah will not lose that scepter. So then you have from David to King Solomon all the way down to Joseph and all the way down to YAHANNA, being an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Right? Read on.
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
Nor a what?
Nor a lawgiver from between his
Nor
feet.
a lawgiver. Right? All the kings, the ruling king is going to be coming through that tribe. Nor a lawgiver from between his feet. Right? Talking about the loins. His loins is going to be bringing down that line of kings all the way down. Even as Officer Michael was bringing out in last night class, talking about Joseph. Joseph was also a king, but a king without a kingdom. Because Israel was not in a ruling position. Right? So Joseph, which is the father of Christ, was also a king. King David was a king, and all the fathers coming down in the scriptures that came down, the first males coming down the line after King David, King Solomon, for example, all these were kings of Israel. So the kingship remained within the tribe of Judah. So a lawgiver will not what?
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet. Until Shiloh come.
Until what?
Until Shiloh come.
Until Shiloh come. That was the end of verse 10. Read on.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Right, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. All right. Let me see this one more time. All right. Somebody give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 7.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah.
Right.
And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah.
Right. So he's saying this is the blessing of Judah. Read on what he say.
Hear, Lord, the blessing, the voice of Judah.
Right. So hear, Lord, the voice. Right. Tawara. Right. Hear now the voice of Judah. Read on.
And bring him unto his people.
Right. And bring him unto his people. All right. So scripture say now, hear now the voice of Judah. Right. And Judah now is that tribe of people that have that ability to really express the self, right? When you're watching in music, in poem, and so forth, and even to the Most High, when you read from the book of Psalms, the prayers of David, they would understand that Judah has that ability to express himself. You understand? So read from the top again.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7, 33 and verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah.
Right, and this is the blessing of Judah. Read on.
And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah.
Right, read on here the voice of Judah.
And bring him unto his people.
And bring him
unto his people.
Right, and bring him unto his people. Read on.
Let his hand be sufficient for him.
Right, so he's saying, and bring him unto his people. Right, which means, and it's showing that Judah is a likable tribe among his brethren. You understand what I'm saying? The tribes of Israel, right? That is one tribe that the tribe of Israel love that tribe, the tribe of Judah. Bring him among his people, and read on.
And be thou an help to him from his enemies.
And be a what?
Help to him from his enemies.
And be a help to him from his enemies. Read on.
Verse 8.
No, just now. Salakia. And bring him unto his people. Read from there again.
And bring him, just like here. And
Yeah.
be thou an help to him from his enemies.
And be now a help to him from his enemies. Right? And the Most High, as David say, blessed be the Most High that teacheth my hands to war. So David now, Salakia, Judah now also have that ability, right? As the scripture saying, to be thou a help, that the Most High be a help unto Judah from the enemies. So when you're watching the whole setup, or I should say mind state at the tribe of Judah always want to fight. You understand what I'm saying? Judah always ready to box out your face. When you're watching them all on the streets, I just slip. You understand what I'm saying? They're ready to get their hands up. You understand what I'm saying? To defend themselves, to defend the people. You understand what I'm saying? If it's one thing with Judah, the ability, you understand, to know the hustle. You catch me? So the Most High now always have the back of Judah, always defending the tribe of Judah. You understand? And that is why David was able to say, right, bless the Most High that teacheth my hands to war, as we learn in the Hebrew Academy. You understand? The Yakarab. And the Yakarab in Hebrew means hand war. You understand? Right? Because that is one of the blessings that the Most High give to the tribe of Judah. Right? So we actually was just going through some of the tribes, right? The locations, some of the blessings that the Most High put on them to identify them. Besides Deuteronomy chapter 28 identifies the entire nation of Israel. Now we're going into the specific tribes. So we're going to be talking about the other tribes, like for example, the Venezuelans and so forth, where the Most High talk about the amount of oil they have and so forth, that the Americans and Donald Trump fighting for today. All these things recorded in the scriptures, right? So with the next class, we're going to be bringing out more of the tribes and more of what our forefathers in the records of the scriptures talk about going to be happening to the so-called blacks, Native Indians, and Hispanics today, who are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. All right, and with that, we're going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Maikwa.
This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of any penny, of every penny, of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering to priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation. Right, the upcoming holy convocation is the memorial blowing of the trumpets, right, which is the first day of the 7th month, which is Thursday, September 17th, 2020. You can find this in Leviticus chapter 23, verses 24 to 25. Remind Archeum and Aquatium to check on social media such as I.S.U.P.K.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirt, like pants, like headbands or scarf. And with that, we say, I imagine. We're going to turn and face the east. And we're going to begin with the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew.
Abanawa,
Shabashamaya,
Quadash,
Aya, Shamka, Yahawa, Malbaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Aya, Slakia,
Aya.
Barataza,
Barataza.
Kawa,
Kawa.
Haya,
Haya.
Bashamaya,
Bashamaya.
Latan Nawa,
Latan Nawa.
Lakam,
Kal.
Kal, Yawam,
Yawam.
Wasalak Nawa,
Wasalak Nawa.
Kawawat Nawa,
Kawawat Nawa.
Kasalak Nawa,
Kasalak Nawa.
Kawawat Nawa,
Kawawat Nawa.
Wala'a,
Wala'a.
Tabaya Nawa,
Tabaya Nawa.
Walasayawan,
Sayawan.
Abal,
Abal.
Awashai Nawa,
Awashai Nawa.
Mayan,
Mayan.
Rai,
Rai.
Laka,
Laka.
Amalakwa,
Amalakwa.
Wahala,
Wahala.
Wataparat,
Taparat.
Iwalamyam,
Iwalamyam.
Aman.
Amen. What we said in the English was, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
thy kingdom come.
thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done,
Thy will be done.
in earth,
In earth,
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day,
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily bread,
and forgive us,
and forgive us
our debts,
our debts,
as we forgive our
as we
debtors,
forgive our debtors,
and lead us not
lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us,
but deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. I'm going to say the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Wa Yahushai.
Wa Yahushai.
Wa Makala.
Wa Makala.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Matazabia.
Matazabia.
Ala-Wap Yahanna.
Ala-Wap Yahanna.
Ha Ala-Wapia.
Ala-Wapia.
Ha Saranium.
Asaranium.
Ha Kwatazaya Nyam.
Ha Kwatazaya Nyam.
Ha Kayali Alyam.
Ha Kayali Alyam.
Wa Akwapiam.
Wa Awapiam.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Tawara Aman.
Tawara Aman. In the English, what we said was blessed be Yahweh,
Blessed be Yahweh,
and Yahushai,
and Yahushai,
and Micah,
and
the angels,
and the angels,
commanding General Yahanna,
Commanding General Yahanna,
the generals,
generals,
the captains,
captains,
the officers,
officers,
the troopers,
troopers,
and the sisters.
and the sisters.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushai,
in the name of Yahushai.
thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to say the hakak or the prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Babakusha.
Babakusha.
Yatana
Yatana Nawa.
Hakak.
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 Larapa.
Larapa.
Kal Makala.
Kal Makala.
Kal Madawo.
Kal Madawo.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Lata'a.
Lata'a.
Matazaria.
Matazaria.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Lahakwaya.
Lahakwaya.
Hamataya.
Hamataya.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Ayrakawak.
Ayrakawak.
Atamayala.
Atamayala.
Lagarashem.
Lagarashem.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Tawara Aman.
Tawara Aman. In the English, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushai,
in the name of Yahushai,
please give us the power,
please give us the
power to heal,
the power to heal
all manner of sickness,
all manner of sickness,
and all manner of disease,
and all manner of disease,
the power to cleanse the lepers,
power to cleanse the lepers,
the power to raise the dead,
power to raise the dead,
the power against unclean spirits,
power against unclean spirits,
to cast them out,
cast them out,
in the name of Yahushai.
in the name of Yahushai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
These are the I.S.U.P.K curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth,
And all things living.
and all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
In the name of Yahushai.
in the name of Yahushai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
Speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the schools.
And the schools.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake loose.
The treasure of the rich of Israel.
Treasure of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the
Force
school.
their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
The Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
Court system.
The prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
Pope.
Islam. Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia. Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads. Pozikomotazi.
Pozikomotazi.
The gay movement.
Gay movement.
The lesbian
movement.
Spies. Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army. Navy. Air
Force.
Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airwaves. The cable access channels. And the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Let loose all the plagues. Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plagues.
Let the plagues.
Shake the house of the thief.
Shake the house of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
Let Yahawashi.
Let Yahawashi.
Michael.
Michael.
And Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Come down with a flying saucer.
With a flying saucer.
And punish all the
And punish
heathens
all the heathen
that come up against us.
come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That is the angels.
That it is the angels
that have done it.
that have done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be spread
Through the media.
through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahawashi.
In the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it. I'm going to say the blessed Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahawashi.
Yahawashi.
Barak Lanao.
Barak Lanao.
YAHANNA.
YAHANNA.
Abayak.
Abayak.
Saparium.
Saparium.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa.
Rapa.
Magan.
Magan.
Pagan.
Pagan.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
All the generals.
All the generals.
Captains.
Captains.
Officers.
Officers.
Troopers.
Troopers.
Sisters.
Sisters.
Children.
Children.
All 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
All 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
The destroyed of Israel.
The destroyed of Israel.
Brothers and sisters fighting to come into the truth.
Brothers and sisters fighting to come to the truth.
All the families of the I.S.U.P.K.
All the families of the I.S.U.P.K.
All the families of the I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad.
All the families of the I.S.U.P.K. Trinidad.
I.T.I.S.H.A.
Tazapa.
Partazar.
Partazar.
Yapa.
Tamar.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General
Generals.
Captains.
Officers.
Troopers.
Sisters.
Children.
All the destroyed of Israel.
All the destroyed of Israel.
Kayalwana.
Barak Napash.
Shariah. Kinti and family.
Kinti and family.
Wosilan family. Koto family.
Koto family.
Philip family.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General.
All the generals.
All the generals.
All the captains.
All the captains.
All the officers.
officers.
All the students.
All the students.
Shamka, Kaya, Yapa, Para, Khalifa, Kinti and family.
Commanding General
Commanding General
Generals.
Generals.
Captains.
Officers.
Troopers. Sisters. Children.
Children.
Destroyed of Israel. Mr. Galawan and family. Mr. Tazawan family. Mr. Barriat and family. The John family. Alexis family. The Koto family.
All the brothers and sisters in I.S.U.P.K.
All the brothers and sisters in I.S.U.P.K.
All the brothers and sisters fighting to come in the truth.
All the brothers and sisters fighting to come in the truth.
Zion.
Wesleyan. Daniela. Francois family. Wrong family. Jamelia. Nima. Khadijah. Angel. Trisha. Ashida. Chantel. Mylin.
Ba'ashem.
Yahawashi.
Tawada.
What we said in the English was Lord. In the name of Yahawashi. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. Our loved ones. In the name of Yahawashi. So be it.
Sir, men of Israel, let's give the teacher a 130 salute. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yad Mata. Men of Israel, let's give the sisters online a 130 salute. Imagine Shabbat. Imagine Barak. Yad Mata. Class dismissed.